afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sing Along Jam. My name is Miss Ashley. I'm a librarian with the San Mateo County Libraries. And today we're going to be doing lots of silly songs and fun stories in honor of Father's Day, which is coming up this Sunday. So I hope you'll take time to think about your dad or other grown-ups in your life, and we'll have a little project you can make later on. But before we begin, let's take just a few minutes to gather up some supplies. You may already have your supplies ready if you've been with me before. I usually ask you to go find some kind of piece of cloth or a paper towel, paper napkin, dish rag, blankie, anything you can toss up in the air, wave around for our scarf songs that I'll be doing in just a little bit. And the other thing I'll ask you to get is something for our play along at the end. So you're gonna come up with an instrument. It doesn't have to be a fancy instrument like a trumpet or a drum, although if you have a drum in your house or even a toy drum, that would be great. If not, you can make a drum out of some paper cups or a pot. You could use a spoon and a glass. Just about anything can be an instrument. So try out different things, see what kinds of sounds they make. So that's how instruments were all made to begin with. All right, it's time for our first song though. And our first song as usual is called We Bounce and We Bounce and We Stop. And I have my ukulele here. Are you ready to bounce? Gotta put on your listening ears. We bounce and we bounce and we stop. Did you get the stop? We bounce and we bounce and we stop. Whoa. We bounce and 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 we stop. Now let's bounce one more time a little faster. We bounce and we bounce and we stop. We bounce and we bounce and we stop. We bounce and 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 we stop. Oh, I think I could use a big stretch. Can you stretch your arms up way up tall? You can even stand on your tiptoes. Oh, and you do that while I play. We stretch and we stretch and we stop. We stretch and we stretch and we stop. We stretch and 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 we stop. Can you pat your head? We pat our head and we stop. We pat our head and we stop. We pat our head and we pat our head and we pat our head and we stop. Can you tickle yourself or your grown-up or your stuffed animal? We tickle and we tickle and we stop. We tickle and we tickle and we stop. We tickle and 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 we stop. And now we always follow our tickle with a hug. You can give yourself a big hug, or you can hug your grown-up or your stuffed animal, your brother or sister. We hug and we hug and we stop. We hug and we hug and we stop. We hug and 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 we stop. And now let's bounce one more time really fast. We bounce and we bounce and we stop. We bounce and we bounce and we stop. We bounce and 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 we stop. Great bouncing. All right, well the first book I'm going to read is about going to the store. So I thought I'd sing a song about something you can buy at the store. And it's an apple and a banana. Who likes to eat apples and bananas? I certainly do. The sign for apple is like this in sign language. And the sign for a banana is like you're peeling a banana. So we're gonna do a song called I Like to Eat, Eat, Eat. This is the sign for eat. Apples and bananas. Let's try it. I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas. One more time. I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, eat, eat apples and bananas. All right, now we're gonna make our song a little silly. We're gonna change the way the words sound. So instead of all those ah sounds in apple and banana, we're gonna change those to all to an E sound. So we're gonna say, E like to eat, 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 apples and bananas. Can you try that? E like to eat, eat, eat funny sound. Apples and bananas. That's fun to say. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. Now we're saying, oh, look to apples and bananas. Oh, look to apples and bananas. Oh, look to apples and bananas. My favorite one. Oh, look to apples and bananas. Oh, look to apples and bananas. Oh, look to apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. You want to do the whole thing again? I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. You like to eat apples and bananas. You like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. Oh, look to 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 apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. That's such a fun song to sing. And it's also, even though it's silly, those kinds of songs where you get to play around with the sounds of words, they help your brain understand language in a way that was going to really help you learn to read later on. Well, let's read our first book. This one is from Hoopla, one of our collections on smcl.org. And this one's called Shopping with Dad. Have you ever done that before? This is by Matt Harvey and Miriam Latimer, and it's published by Barefoot Books. So let's get started. I don't know how they're both fitting in that shopping cart. That looks a little tricky to me. Shopping with Dad. This is a rhyming story. There she is with the basket on her head. My mom made a list and she gave it to us, to me and my dad, and we went on the bus. We got off the bus at the stop by the shop. Dad found us a cart and then whoosh, we were off. Dad gave me the list and the pencil to hold, and he said, if you're good and you do as you're told, you can cross out the things from the list as, hey, wait. I'd already started, so he was too late. Look, she's just scribbling over all the words. That was silly, he said. Now it's quite hard to read. This list tells me all of the things that we need. He read it and laughed and said, listen to this. Your mom's put some very strange things on the list. Weather bread, danger jam, evergreen eggs, octopus underpants, spider's legs, well-behaved daughter water, extra clean germs, strong anti-grump pills, and a bucket of worms. Hard to buy a bucket of worms at the grocery store. I laughed and asked, does it have normal things too? It does, said my dad. Now here's what we'll do. But I didn't listen because I was excited, because Mommy was funny and I was delighted. So I ran. Can you run? And I ran and I ran and I ran. I ran and I ran and bumped into a man. Oh no. Who was stacking up cans at the end of the aisle, who said, well there, and steady, and gave me a smile. I said, I'm very sorry. I thought this was best because I knew that my dad was getting quite stressed. And he was. He said, stop. He said, give it a rest. So I stopped and I stopped and I sat and I stopped. I sat there nonstop. I stopped there and sat and I didn't start starting at all. In fact, I sat till I couldn't be still anymore. Do you ever feel that way? I was sitting so still, it was making me sore. It was making me feel that I couldn't quite breathe. It was making me sweat. It was making me sneeze. And the sneezing-y feeling, it built up inside. And I just couldn't stop it. I tried and I tried. I tried every non-sneezing-y thing I could do, but Chew! Oh my goodness, look at the sneeze. It goes on 2 pages and it's scaring the dog and it's spilling all the stuff. That sneeze was fantastic. It made my dad jump, and his jump gave the woman beside him a bump, and she went arg and swung around in alarm, and her bag hit a woman who jogged a man's arm, and he nudged a lady who knocked someone else, and the knock got passed down to the end of the shelf till the last person bashed the big stack the man built, which juddered and jiggled and started to tilt. And the man who'd been stacking turned slowly around to see his work fall, smash, bang, crash to the ground. Smash, bang, bong, crash, ping, wallop, clunk, clong to the floor, and everyone gasped. Can you gasp? And one woman swore, "Mercy!" Then a loud, angry voice said, "What's happening here?" And I thought, uh-oh. And my dad said, "Oh dear." "It was him."
"No, it wasn't." "It was." "That's not fair." "She pushed me." "He shoved me."
"Did not."
"It was her."
Then the woman my daddy had bumped on the arm, the one who'd gone arg and swung around in alarm, she pointed her finger and said, "It was him." And they stared at my dad, and my dad scratched his chin, and my dad scratched his nose, and my dad scratched his head. "But it isn't his fault that it's his fault," I said. "It was mine. It was me. I sneezed. I sort of exploded as if I was loaded with a great big wet shout." And my voice faded out. They looked at me hard, so I held on to Dad, who looked 22 proud and a quarter past sad. And he winked at me once, and I looked in his face, and I saw in his eyes the hint of a trace of laughter. Soft laughter that couldn't come out. He's trying not to laugh. And he said to the man who had started to shout, "Shh." And he said to the people who gave us hard looks with a very slight shrug of his shoulder, "Oops. Accidents happen. It's always a shame, but when push comes to shove, there's no one to blame." Then my dad, he got down on his knees in the store, and he started to pick all the cans off the floor. The woman knelt too. She said, "Right, you're not wrong." Then everyone joined in. It didn't take long. Dad stood up and stretched and said that wasn't hard. So we finished our shopping. He paid with his card. Here they are. We went home. Mom gave us a hug and a kiss. She said, "Did you get all the things on the list?" Dad told her what happened. He made it sound fun. And she laughed and said, "Very well done." And that's shopping with Dad. All right, it's time for our scarf song. So you know what to do. You find your cloth or your paper towel. And we're gonna do a song about a Jack-in-the-Box. Do you know what a Jack-in-the-Box is? It's kind of an old-fashioned toy. I have one here. It's got Snoopy on it. It's actually a holiday one. It's a little out of season, but it's really fun. So listen carefully and watch. There he is. He popped out of the box. We can put him back down and do it again, shall we? I'll do it one more time because it's so much fun. So it has a little handle that you turn right here. That's what makes the music. Can you tell when he's going to pop out? He startled me that time. So that's a Jack-in-the-Box. So we're going to do a scarf song about a Jack-in-the-Box. So it goes, the Jack-in-the-Box jumps up, and you can jump up too and throw your scarf. The Jack-in-the-Box goes flop. You flop over. The Jack-in-the-Box goes round and round. The lid comes down with a plop. Plop. You try it? The Jack-in-the-Box jumps up, boing! The Jack-in-the-Box goes flop, flop. The Jack-in-the-Box goes round and round. The lid comes down with a plop, plop. Let's try that again. This time, let's jump up when we say the jump up part and throw our scarf. Can you do it? The Jack-in-the-Box jumps up, boing! The Jack-in-the-Box goes flop, flop. The Jack-in-the-Box goes round and round. The lid comes down with a plop, plop. Isn't that fun? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the tune of my next song. It's called Can You Wave Your Scarf? Because it goes like this. Can you wave your scarf with me? Scarf with me, scarf with me. Can you wave your scarf with me? Then put it on your head. Peekaboo! Can we do that again? Can you wave your scarf with me? Scarf with me, scarf with me. Can you wave your scarf with me? Then put it on your head. Peekaboo! Now we can put it on your elbow. Can you put it on your elbow? Can you wave your scarf with me? Scarf with me, scarf with me. Can you wave your scarf with me? Then put it on your elbow. There it is. It's hard to keep it on your elbow. Now let's put it on your nose so you look like an elephant. You make an elephant noise? I can't read, but I can try. That's my best elephant. Can you wave your scarf with me? Scarf with me, scarf with me. Can you wave your scarf with me? Then put it on your nose. There you go. That's a silly song you can do at home and add in lots of body parts. All right, it's time for my last book, which is called My Dad is Amazing. This is also from Hoopla, which on smcl.org. This one is by Sabrina Moyle, and the pictures are by Eunice Moyle, and the publisher is Abrams Books. So this is a funny looking dad. He kind of looks like maybe an abominable snowman or something. He's got horns. It's very cute. My dad is cooler than a million popsicles. That's pretty cool. Look at all these popsicles. They look delicious. Tougher than a rhino wrestler. You make your muscles, and these little mice are going, Viva Papa, vamos, let's go. This looks like a wrestler. Cuddlier, can you cuddle? Give yourself a big hug. Cuddlier than a ton of bunnies. That's pretty cuddly. Steadier than a team of turtles. This turtle says slow and steady wins the race. Sweeter than a pile of pancakes. Look at all those pancakes. That would be a lot of pancakes to eat at one time. Braver than a space explorer. Look at that. Did you get to see the rocket launch a few weeks ago? It's like that. Space explorer. Smarter than a super smarty pants. Look at all these books. Bigger than a colossal squid. See this colossal squid? Those things are huge. Funnier than a bunch of underpants. Look at all these underpants. Oh, it's pretty funny. There went my ukulele. Sillier than a parade of circus clowns. Look at, he looks very silly in this picture. More amazing than a billion galaxies. Look at all these stars. And then he says, kid, you're amazing. All right, well, I hope this weekend, this Sunday, you take time to tell your dad or the other grown-ups in your life how amazing they are. Let's do a couple of songs for our play along now. So get out whatever instrument you found. I'm gonna do a song in honor of my dad, who taught me a lot of the songs that I do in story time. This is one that he used to do when I was little, and this is called Abba Dabba Honeymoon by Arthur Fields and Walter Donovan. Here you go. You got your instrument? Abba dabba 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 dabba, said the monkey to the chimp. Abba dabba 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 dabba, said the chimpy to the monk. All day long they chatter away, all night long they're happy and gay, singing and swinging in their honky-tonky way. Abba dabba 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 means chimp, I love you too. Abba dabba dabba in monkey talk means chimp, I love you too. And the big baboon one night in June, he married them, and very soon they went upon their abba dabba honeymoon. Let's hear one more time. Abba dabba 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 dabba, said the monkey to the chimp. Abba dabba 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 dabba, said the chimpy to the monk. All day long they chatter away, all night long they're happy and gay, singing and swinging in their honky-tonky way. Abba dabba 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 means chimp, I love you too. Abba dabba dabba in monkey talk means chimp, I love you too. And the big baboon one night in June, he married them, and very soon they went upon their abba dabba honeymoon. I love that song. All right, before we go, I want to leave you with a little project you can do at home. And this one you can do in a lot of different ways. I like to give you a lot of different ways to do things, depending on what you have around the house. So this is called a tape resist project. So what you do is you take some kind of tape. It could be the clear Scotch tape or masking tape, or this is painter's tape. The important thing is that you want it to be a kind of tape that you can easily peel off again, because that's kind of the trick to this whole thing. See how that tape can peel off really easily? And then once you do that, you can decorate your piece of paper any way you like. So you could use crayons. I happen to have some stamp pads, which you may not have around the house, but if you don't have stamp pads, you could use paint. Or markers, or like I said, crayons. And all you're gonna do is put your color, your paint, or your fingerprints, or whatever you wanna do all around your piece of paper. So you can put your tape any way you want to. So I did a heart here. The important thing is that when you're done, you're gonna peel your tape off, and see here I wrote the word dad in tape. And where the tape was, there's a white spot. So it makes a really neat kind of pattern that you can see. And I don't know if you can see here where I've been putting my crayon and my fingerprints. And when I peel up the tape here, it's gonna leave a white spot there. So you see how it's clear there? So that's just a fun thing you can do. You can spend as much time or as little time on it as you want. Hope you'll make something for the grown-ups in your life to tell them thank you and tell them how amazing they are. All right, it's time for our last song, which is usually this freight train. So let's get on our imaginary train. Go wherever we want. You got your instruments. Here we go. Freight train, running so fast. Freight train, running so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. I'm gonna go see my dad in Virginia now. Going to Virginia, going so fast. Going to Virginia, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. Oh boy, where else can we go? Let's go to the grocery store, like in our first story. Going to the grocery store, going so fast. Going to the grocery store, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. And now let's go to the zoo. Here we go. Going to the zoo, going so fast. Going to the zoo, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. Oh, let's go to a big amusement park. You can ride on some rides. Yeah. Going to the amusement park, going fish. Going to the aquarium, going so fast. Going to the aquarium, going so fast. Please don't tell our train I'm on, so they won't know where you've gone. Oh, let's come back home really fast. Coming back home now, coming so fast. Going back home now, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so they won't know where I've gone. I hope you'll sing that song with your family and take that train wherever you want to go. I usually tell you, and I forgot, that that song is written by Elizabeth Cotton, and the version we do is by Elizabeth Mitchell, who made it about going to lots of different places. Before we go, I want to tell you, remind you about our summer learning program, and today I thought I'd show you what that page looks like on our website. It's at summerlearners.org. I'm going to put the address in here so you can see it, summerlearners.org. Make sure you tell your grown-up you want to sign up for this program because it's for all ages. And there's a little form you can fill out down here. And it's open all summer through August 31st. And you're eligible to win, you might win $1,000 college scholarship. So that would be money put aside for college. So make sure you tell your grown-ups that you want to sign up. We will be having prizes from the library as well. And I hope you'll also check out our lots of fun science programs on smcl.org. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I will see you next time for Sing Along Jam.